is Isaac Castro, and my slides will be about Harriet Jacobs' autobiography. And my first slide is about who she is. And Harriet Jacobs was born into slavery in 1813 in North Carolina, and she really had like a hard life because she went through years of abuse and mistreatment, and like her most famous autobiography is The Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, which just tells about like her struggles that she had during slavery and the struggles of just enslaved women in general. My next slide is about her struggles and the amount of abuse, like all the abuse that she dealt with from her master, Dr. Flint, who tried to force her into a sexual relationship. And then, like, to escape that, she hid away for 7 years, to get away from him, and she hid like in a little area. And yeah, like my next third slide is Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, which was published in 1861, and it was an important tool for just for people trying to get or show slavery, and what happened to the families and women that were in slavery. My next slide is the themes in her writings, and her top 3 were slavery and freedom and sexual abuse and motherhood, because she really did love her children. It would be tough for her to leave her family. My next slide is just talking about her best lines, which is, "I was born a slave, but I never knew it till 6 years of happy childhood had passed away," which is really sad because she had a rough time growing up. And these lines just show that she was happy in her early years, and then it just turned bad quickly. Alright, my next slide is sexual resistant, which is she tried to avoid her or she did avoid her master to get away from that sexual relationship she wanted. And then yes, my next slide is the toll that slavery had on her mind, with being scared of losing her children, which that's just terrible to think of. My next slide is about abolitionist, and just talking about her famous autobiography that's 300 pages long, and it describes her whole experience. My next slide is just talking about her legacy and how she's a huge part in African American history and women's rights, and talking about her courage to even write it and publish it. She could have probably been punished or beaten or killed for publishing that. But my next slide is her life after slavery, which during the war, or during the Civil War, once she escaped, she just tried help getting other slaves or ex-slaves to go to the North and be safe. And of course she was a voice for slavery, and yeah. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening.